Hello, this video is a tutorial on how to use GitHub, but before we begin, you actually need Git software to be able to manage your GitHub repositories. So what I recommend is getting Git for Windows. You can head on over to Git for Windows, which is hyphenated, .github.io, download the program, install it, and install it with bash. And that way, when you check to see if you've installed it correctly, you can just right click on your desktop, click git bash here, and a command line will pop up. Make sure there's no error messages. If there is, try reinstalling. And once you've done that, head on over to GitHub, create your account, confirm it, and then log on to your account on GitHub. You'll see a screen very similar to mine, and just click on start a project and give your first repository a name. So I'm going to do testing123 as a repository name. I'm going to create the repository, and you'll be sent to a screen that looks like this. Usually people panic here because they don't know what to do, but it's okay. You see what I've highlighted here? That's the 6 lines of command that we're going to be using to create our local repository. So right now we've already set up the online testing123 repository. We're going to do the same thing on our machine. So I'm going to do testing123, create a new folder on desktop. I'm going to open it. I'm going to open git bash inside testing123 on the local machine, and I'm going to echo out a readme file. So echo testing123 ha 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 ha. I'm going to redirect that string into a readme file. Press enter. You'll see, there we go. And once you've done that, we are going to initialize our local directory and prepare it to be linked with the GitHub repository by using git init, which is short for initialize. Once you've done that, you'll see that the command prompt says initialize the empty git repository. If you have hidden files viewable, you'll see a hidden git folder. We don't really care about that. We just want to make sure there's no errors on initialization. Once we've done that, we're actually going to skip over to line 5. This line tells your local directory where to look on the internet to find your online GitHub repository. So to do that, just type in git remote add origin, okay, and then type in your address. Now this address is just basically https github.com/username/repository name. So in this case it's testing123.git, and then press enter. Now your local machine is linked to your online repository. Now that that's done, we're going to push our readme file. So to do that, you need to add that file to a list. So to do that, just do git add and then the readme file. Now that it's added to a list of files that you want to push to the online repository, you need to commit a message. So to do that, you do git commit -m, and inside quotes you put your message as to why you are pushing the file. This is mandatory. If you do not commit a message, you cannot push, or I'm not even sure if you can pull, but you can definitely not push anything. So once you've committed a message, you can now just push from origin to your master. Master is the master repository, origin is your local machine. And once you've done that, if you refresh this, you'll see that the readme file got pushed onto the repository, and I'm going to close these. So let's say you're going to school and going to use a lab computer. If you go to a lab computer, log on to your GitHub, you'll be in this screen. Click on repositories, click on your repository that you want to work on. Then you're going to click clone or download. Alright, so once you're here, this is basically, again, what we need to clone the repository. So I've actually deleted the testing 123 local repository, so my local machine, and I'm gonna clone it back. So I'm gonna open git bash on my desktop and type in git clone, and I'm gonna type in the https github.com username repository name .git. Okay, press enter, and voila, now you can work on your code on the lab computer. Now you have to be careful, because if I cloned it onto the desktop, which means my master branch, or sorry, my repository is not actually here. It's actually in the testing 123 folder. So you'll notice if I try to push anything from this command line, it's not going to work. So you make sure when you open a new command line, and you'll see that the master thing tells you that you can actually push properly. So let's say you work on a bunch of stuff and you have new files, so new text document 1, new text document 2, 123, 123. It's a bunch of code. Just pretend it's a bunch of code, and you're gonna push it back. Git add to push multiple files. Just use the asterisk. Then you're gonna go git commit some kind of message, new files, and again we want to push it. So git push origin master. And now if you refresh the online repository, there you go. Okay, so let's say you're in a rush, somebody gave you something and you need to you're working and you don't want to set this up. You can also drag and drop files. So for instance, I have this random file here, I can drag, and when you drag a file you also still need to commit. Okay, my commit message here is dragged file demonstration, right? And I'm going to commit the changes. So there's my script that I dragged in. You'll notice that my repository doesn't have it. So how do I make it so that my repository has the files? Very simple. Just use git pull, and voila, it's there. So that's pretty much the end of the tutorial. I hope this really helps people who don't know how to use GitHub. It's very useful and it's very convenient. I'll see you guys next time.